full of characters. We're going to get to know them a little better in the next 80 minutes or so. Wakefield fans' attitudes jaded by events in the league this year, but freshened by a dose of cup fever this afternoon. And Leigh fans are loving it. They have a permanent smile on their faces in these last few weeks and months because their side keep on winning and winning. Is this going to be win number 25 today on the bounce for them? They haven't lost since last July. What a run they're on. Seems to be a little bit of nervousness amongst those Wakefield supporters, doesn't there? As the two teams march out for their grand introduction. Full of confidence, and why not? Already taken one Super League scalp this year. They came very close to downing Leeds, of course, in the Challenge Cup last year. And they're looking to create a stir again today. Wakefield players lining up on the far side. Introduced to that main stand over there. So let's have a look how they're lining up this afternoon. Well, Wakefield have their skipper Danny Kermond back from injury. That's a big dose of good news for them. There's a few returning to fitness. Tim Smith, potential match winner in the number 7 jersey. 3 Challenge Cup finalists in that 17. In Riley, Washbrook and Lauatiti. Leigh, some quality in this side. The pack is as tough as they come. Led at the start by the totemic Fui Moi Moi. And some classy backs like McNally, watch out for him today, and Briley. Also be hoping to take advantage of any platform that those big fellas can lay. Ben Thaler was in our truck yesterday in the role of video ref. Today he's out there in the strip as the man in the middle. Tony Martin and James Child on the sidelines. Phil Bentham and Ian Smith will be our video refs today should we need them at any point. And of course we will be hearing from them if the referee decides to go to them at any stage. Opportunity for both sides today. A chance for Wakefield to reset their season. It has been disastrous so far. A chance for Leigh to claim another Super League scalp. A chance for both to move within 2 games of the final. And first thing to say, Brian Noble, what about the atmosphere? Yeah,
great atmosphere. The Leigh fans have travelled in numbers and the boys on the sideline absolutely nailed it. This is about confidence. Kind of fragile Wakefield team muscle up enough to challenge this really highly confident Leigh outfit.
Well, Earl Crabtree has sprinted 100 yards to get up here, so under those circumstances we'll let him get a breather for 20 minutes or so before we bring him in, but we will be hearing from him very shortly. It's Leigh who are having to defend. It's Wakefield with early possession, who are moving through Ben Kavanagh up towards the halfway line. McShane from dummy half. Here is Tim Smith back on the inside for Danny Kermond. Need to show some heart today, Wakefield. That has been lacking at times in recent weeks. As Smith puts it high, Collis is underneath it. He's allowed to catch it. The ball's gone to ground. Leigh pick it up. 0 tackles, so Leigh in possession. So let's hear. 2 knock-ons, handover. Leigh still have possession. So let's hear from Earl Crabtree. What are we expecting here today?
I'm expecting an intense game to start off, especially because Wakefield know that they have to put shots on early doors to make sure that the Leigh players know they're in the game. But you know, straight away, Leigh going wide, looking for numbers out wide. They know that they're going to compress the line to get up to put shots on, so they know there's going to be spaces. That's how they like to play. They like to throw the ball wide, a little bit shifty, more. That's what you want to see.
We're not going to miss him today, are we?
No, his nickname in Australia was the car crash for obvious reasons. He doesn't miss anybody when they run at him, and he's certainly not scared when he's going forward. And he's got Gareth Hawke as well. There's a few weeks at the disciplinary with those two.
Well, Gareth Hawke has only played, I think, 3 games since he signed for Salvador. They're chancing their arm here. It's been spilled, and it is Wakefield who have it back again. Owen, who picked it up. Here's Collis, who, as John Wilkie was saying earlier, really good point. Very underestimated centre, Dean Collis. He is a class act. Anderson, who's had his battles with Fui over the years. He played in a grand final, Scott Anderson, for Melbourne against Fui's Parramatta back in 2009. So those two have come face to face in the Grand Arena. McShane. This is Smith. Hawks come out to read the play and make the tackle. McShane Waits again. Smith now. Was thinking about going left, but Leigh's defence was up quickly. Takes the tackle. Still a couple of tackles to go here, so still an opportunity here for Wakefield as Westbrook throws it wide. Oh, it's gone to ground. It's going to be picked up by Pownall, but his way is instantly blocked by Riley. And he's pushed out of play. The referee is, well, I was going to say, he might say take the play the ball from where he was tackled, but he's decided he wasn't tackled. Head and feet for Wakefield.
Well, that's a break for Wakefield because he's practically away there, wasn't he, Pownall? And a bit close to the sideline, he's adjudicated. It's a poor pass from Westbrook that nearly gets him down the sideline, Pownall. Riley drags him to the sideline, he's helped by McShane and put him to touch. So it was a break and then not a break for Leigh.
Yeah, you can see Danny Kerman straight away running over, telling everyone to calm down. Already a loose pass, and you can't do that. You've got to build pressure early on in the game. This is where they want to get into the game. Don't need to win it straight away. Leigh are going to throw a lot at you, so you've got to make the most of the opportunities with ball.
Here's Kerman. Oh, it's a loose pass, but it's, from his point of view, fortunately gone to the hands of Collis. Wins a man a dummy half.
Go.
35 metres out.
Come on. Shoulder.
Has a go, but straight into those big shoulders that were waiting for him. Here's McShane. Now Smith. This is Kavanagh, former Wigan Academy player Ben Kavanagh. He's on loan here though from Witness till the end of the season, hoping to take his opportunity with this new club. It's Hall, Craig Hall, Collis throwing a little dummy, trying to cut back on the inside, but Armstrong is there to make the tackle. Smith. Scruton helps it on. McShane. Step inside by Miller. He's got some zip, has Jacob Miller. This is Smith again, firing it out to that left-hand side, and Arundel is close.
Line here, boys.
Leigh defending on their own line here. Wakefield with one tackle left. Back to Smith again. Little grubber. Well, it's not a little grubber, it's a little overkicked, and it'll be a tap back on the 20.
So many Weetabix this morning. He needs to get a grip of his chicken game. Everything's gone through Tim Smith, that set, but you have to say that Leigh have defended their line pretty well. They look organised, they look efficient, and they've been giving Wakefield a little bit too much ball in around the halfway line. They'll be looking to get to the other end of the field.
I think it's a good start that actually by Leigh on their own half, but also on their own line, but Wakefield as well, throwing the ball around. They're looking like a team actually playing with confidence, which is unusual in that sense, but with the players back, maybe it has given them that little bit of confidence. Interested to see how they keep going on in the game, but Leigh need to get out of trouble here for me a little bit.
Here's Golden. Has the reputation of being as hard as nails, Tommy Golden, doesn't he? And Fui more. We saw in the build-up, he's only scored one try, and he leapt over the advertising hoardings and ran to the back of the terraces to celebrate that. So we'll wait and see what happens if he scores again today.
Bob Bezik's a good player, Dave. Just for our viewers watching this afternoon, he's at the heart of everything that this Leigh team do, and he'll go for 80 minutes. He's a hooker that likes to be on the field all the time, pulling the strings.
McNally inside for Ridyard. Ridyard puts it high. Riley's underneath it with pressure. Platt was after him. So too was Pownall. But he's taken it safely. Good catch.
Great catch. He was spiralling away. The ball was end on end and moving around. It's a great catch from Riley. That'll give him the confidence to crack on with the game.
Well done.
Don't forget, by the way, the draw for the quarter-final of the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup takes place straight after this match has finished. Penalty for Wakefield.
Both teams making very easy meters early on. I mean, tapping on your own 20 and ending up on the opposition's try line is a great set by Leigh, but obviously making the error then to concede the penalty, but making easy yards both sides. This is going to be interesting. There's going to be a few points on the board today, I'm sure of it.
It's Anderson with the initial drive. He's a returnee in recent weeks, isn't he, Scott Anderson? Oh, that ball's lost, and the referee says play on. So Leigh have a chance to counter here. Look at this, chancing their arm. I don't think it's an advantage play, is it? Or is it? Anyway, they're still chancing their arm. Kay trying to cut back in.
Zero, move!
It is. That's the zero tackle.
Ready, Paul, go!
Moy.
Come on, move, Paul!
Amongst his injuries this year, the reasons why he's not played on occasions, he has had flu.
Wait!
So he's been fluey, Moy. You're desperate to get at it. Desperate to get at it. Here comes Armstrong. 30 metres out. Fui stayed down as well, by the way. This is Hawk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
by Platt. That ball's gone to the ground. Picked up quickly by Scruton. Here's an opportunity for Riley to make the break. The only man chasing is Moy. He's not going to catch him. And Chris Riley, 3 times a cup finalist with Warrington, has opened Wakefield's account here on the back of a Leigh mistake, but it needs confirmation. So let's hear from our video referees for the first time today.
Just make sure there's no knock on in the build-up by Wakefield. In the tackle, I think the ball might have hit him in the tackle.
Okay.
Or has the ball gone?
So we're going to be looking at if there's an offload by Leigh.
Close, right.
And whether or not that's played out.
Just like when he goes in.
Yeah, what we're considering is the carry by Platt, who's looking to offload. The ball's just lost on the impact of the tackle, therefore it's not played out.
Well done, Tony.
So we can go through now to the pick up and the grounding, please. Yep.
Great work, Tony, well done.
That's fine, that's a try.
Thanks, Phil. It's in the tackle.
So we hear the explanation from Ian Smith. All eyes back on Ben Thaler in the middle, but this is going to be given. We know, and soon they'll know.
Is the graphic coming up? Yep.
Here he goes. Well, Leigh fans not happy. They were hoping, but Wakefield fans delighted. It's Wakefield who get off to a good start.
There's a bit of deja vu here. We see Leigh being really expansive. First time they've really been with the ball, and Michael Platt gets it on the outside. He's trying the old. He's gone missing as his support player, and he gives the ball away, and you won't catch Riley from there. The nearest one who was having a rest in the backfield was Fui. Look at him flying across to try and make it a tackle, but you ain't going to catch Chris Riley. And a little similar to your Huddersfield team yesterday, pounding the line away at Leeds, and then Scott Griggs finds a play for them, and Leigh have shot themselves a little bit in the foot there.
Yeah, they're looking really dangerous then, Leigh, skipping across field. And you thought they may have had numbers at one point, but a loose carry, a good tackle, good contact by Arundel, throws him to the floor as well. And then off the back of that, they go and score Chris Riley. And Fui Moy was having a little chat with a physio literally a second before that and chased back really well.
Ball with a kick, and that holds up a bit in the ring, but not enough to stop it. Gaining another 2 points, so Wakefield leading here by 6 points to 0.
Well, here we see it's a bit of a loose carry from Michael Platt, and has the ball knocked out. Washbrook picks it up, hands it on to Chris Riley, and there you go. Keep your speed, son. Keep your head up. The big black shadow was coming across to try and tackle him.
I was going to say, I guess you look around and see Fui's the man in pursuit. You go a little quicker, helps you run a little faster. Here's the restart. So Wakefield a chance to settle their nerves here. Well, that's gone loose, and it's been dropped on. Platt has got it back. The referee says play on, and here's Fui Moy to give Leigh a platform with 6 tackles to go from here. That's the 0 tackle. So here we go. Ridyard stepping away from McShane. Looking for a quick response here, the championship side. Wakefield, the team in white from Super League. Leigh, the team in black. The underdogs nominally from the championship. Briley, McNally, and a good meet by Riley.
He took a punt there, Chris Riley. Had to make the play as well.
Good hands by Hawk, but it's forward. There's a forward pass. And Leigh missing their opportunity. A little too excited, maybe.
You talk about confidence, don't you? And that's one of those instances for Wakefield where they can actually get a bit of confidence. And it's Platt again overplaying there. There's no need really to do it, but he's out the corner of his eye. He's also just had a big hit by Riley there. It's a great decision to come in and almost save a try as well. So I think it's great play by Wakefield. But as it increases this game, as it goes on, Wakefield's confidence will increase as well. I think it's a great start for them, but they need to keep hold of the ball.
And you were saying before the game, Brian, you thought Wakefield might get this today. You were confident they would get this today.
I think they need to, and I pick up Jamie Peacock's comments before, and it's about attitude and emotion today for them. They need to really stand up to the plate and get their season on track.
They've lost 11 on the bounce in Super League. The one win in that run was against Halifax in the Challenge Cup. That looks easy, 44-16, but Halifax pushed them close for a long stage in that game. And you contrast that with Leigh's winning run of 24 matches.
10 metres, come on,
Last July, as we said, last time they lost the game. Here's Scruton for Wakefield.
5, move, guys! Ready for it. Jamie, where are you?
McShay.
Go.
Hock's been left on the ground. He's a little sluggish to get up. Tim Smith was under a little bit of pressure from Dixon, but he got the kick away.
Check him downstairs.
McNally. And here comes Kay, Liam Kay.
I'm not sure 12 minutes in, David, that's not the first kick we've seen either team have to play from their own half. Leigh won't change the way they play. They throw the ball around, they get good shape, they support each other. They're going to continue this philosophy, and why wouldn't you, the way it's been successful?
Pownall has made some good yardage there, and here out of dummy half goes Bezic. Expecting him to play the full 80 minutes today. The modern trend is to switch the hookers, but they haven't got anyone on the bench that can switch with him, so he's likely to play the full 80 minutes. Leigh fans in decent voice as Ridyard takes it forward.
5 away!
Final tackle in this set comes next. Back it goes to Brierley, who's going to have a run and a scamper. Good hands to Platt. Inside for Pownall. Still the sixth tackle, remember, so eventually he puts the kick in. Ridyard's underneath it and has caught it. Throws it backwards. McShane picks it up. Coming to Wakefield's rescue. And off goes Miller before he goes down 20 metres out. And we're going to stop the game because I think McShane is injured here and it's getting a bit fiery too.
Johnny! Miller, stay there.
He was run into by Acton, wasn't he?
You don't clamp out of his head because I mean a reaction like that. Good 10. Come here. Yeah.
You can only say he must have thought you had the ball. Hit on suspicion.
Right. Jamie, I want you as well.
He's an interesting character, Jamie Acton. At 16-year-old, he was in the England 400 metres squad, but then had to choose between athletics and rugby. Signed for Wasps. Didn't quite work out there because of injury. Got involved with rugby league in London, and next minute he was playing for Hemel. Wigan picked him up, brought him north.
Be very careful this time where the ball's
South Wales Scorpions, Oldham, Workington, and now
need to sort him out.
With
When you physio, you've got blood.
Sent off last week, by the way, against Halifax. He does have a reputation of being a bit aggressive.
Time's off.
As McShane now knows.
Hey, discipline. The big tools to sort out. You calm down and play rugby.
Paul Roddy, the league coach, looking on.
Oh, we've got that.
What will he have made of the start, do you think, Earl?
Well, to be honest, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed simply because I don't think they've felt themselves the way into the game. They've actually just thrown the ball around, which you want them to do, because that's what Leigh do, but sometimes you need to show a little bit of composure, hold on to the ball, actually earn the right to pass the ball wide and score tries. I think they keep getting themselves into a decent position, but just a couple of kicks have been nice. The high ones into the corner and control the ruck. Defensively, both teams, I don't think have been brilliant because they're not limiting the actual yardage that both teams are making too many yards at the moment, and that is a soft penalty for me as well. You can't afford to do that against a good team.
Oh, that's he's kept it in, McNally. That's a mistake, isn't it?
Well, that's what you can't do in games like when you're low on confidence. The last thing you want to do is fail with a touch finder. They're coach killers and team killers.
Here's Pownall.
Danny, come on!
Penalty were compounded by the fact that Wakefield are now going to have to defend on their own line.
I think Paul might be a little bit happier now.
Ridyard finds touch. So Leigh's set starts only 30 yards away from that Wakefield goal line. Bezic with a tap. Here's Furi Moi Moi. Back to Bezic again. Ridyard looks back and Hock comes on.
One movement!
Looking quite as...
No!
What's the word? As slim, I think, as he has done in the past. Gareth Hock, he's carrying a pound or two. Oh, there's the ball drop. Scruton picks it up. Mistakes on both sides, and Wakefield have it back.
And that's just that execution element. Just got to settle down a little bit, Leigh. Both teams are chancing their arm with the passing game, which is a surprise early on, and just a little bit of composure. I think I clearly heard you call Gareth Hock fat then.
No, I didn't. I just said he's not looking as slim. It's a comparative term.
I said carrying a few more pounds, didn't they?
They could be
muscle. Is that muscle?
It could be muscle.
3. Move ball!
Hope you're interviewing him afterwards.
Wakefield, I'm off. Fast car afterwards. McShane from dummy half.
Shoulder.
Westbrook is
Tommy,
going to make the halfway line. McShane with a one-hand pick up to speed things up, and Scruton taking it on.
5th tackle, move Bob! We're here, boys. We're here, guys. Girls, go.
Nice play here. McShane looking for a bit of game management, kicking it into the corner, making Leigh have to work hard from out there, and a good chase as well. And Leigh start from depth.
Yeah, ready. Wait! Go.
Let's get another touchline if we can. Let's hear from Robbie Hunter-Paul. Robbie, what have you made of this so far?
Well, it's interesting to see how often Leigh are chancing their hand and trying to push the pass. Now, you need to understand that they're used to dominating the championship competition, where they'll probably play with a little bit more space and time around them. But now that they're coming up against Super League competition, I think they need to respect the ball a little bit more if they're going to be competitive in this game this afternoon.
Well, is this another missed penalty? Oh, no, it's not. Just a bad Fines touch. It looks as though Wakefield felt that they might be able to keep that in.
Back in, Mick.
But it has found touch safely enough. So Leigh set off. Here comes Hawk with the offload. Oh, and he's giving it away. He's furious with himself, Gareth Hawk, because Westbrook was there waiting. It's like basketball at the moment, isn't it?
Again, just no need to push the pass, and you can see how disappointed he is with himself in passing that, the reaction straight away. But this is where someone does need to step up and take control of the game, control the ball, kick to corners. You've got to gain that momentum. Both teams are not doing that at the moment.
Kavanagh
Play on!
actually played with his coach here at Wakefield at Witness. They were in the same team together for a while. Ben Kavanagh and James Webster. And Wakefield making progress in the shape of Jacob Miller. McShane. Here's Smith. A couple of dummies on the inside. Nick Scruton will come driving forward. 15 away, 6 tackle coming up. McShane to that left-hand side. They've got numbers here. Smith with a kick to the in-goal area, where it is taken and touched down. The referee has given it. He's given it. Joe Rundle gets the second Wakefield try, and they find themselves with a healthy lead here.
It's a great finish in the end by Joe Rundle. It's Tim Smith that picks it up on the short side. But for me, it's the defensive efforts by some of the Leigh players. As you pick the ball up, you can see 2 of the Leigh players backtracking, trying to get back to the line. And it's because they're tired. These offloads, passing the ball away and giving them over possession, is costing them energy-wise. And in this instance, there's a couple of players running back, offside position. Tim Smith, he doesn't know what to. He's got too many options. Instead of passing it wide, I think he makes the correct choice, obviously with a little grubber through. Joe Rundle reads it nicely, bounces up perfectly, and a great finish.
The skill required for that kick on the run is of the highest level, because he did have options. He didn't know whether to pass. He had it in 2 hands. The defenders didn't know what to do. What decision did they make? And he just dribbled it off his foot. And Rundle obviously has to finish the play and has to get the ball down, but that's high quality skill.
That's why the halfbacks get paid the big bucks. They have to make the big decisions at the right time, and he had a couple of choices there, like you say, Nobby, because he can pass it wide. He looks to pass it and realises it's not probably the wisest choice, then puts the kick in. Great try.
Here's Hall with a second conversion attempt of the afternoon, and this time he's missed it, so 10 points to 0. Wakefield lead here against Leigh. And James Webster, we saw in the shadows, is a happier man than he might have been at 2:15 this afternoon.
That really takes the highest level of skill, that, Dave. For our viewers watching, to be running at that speed and have a pass option as well, and then just to drop it on your foot with the right amount of weight and balance.
Well, he's 30 years of age now, isn't he, Tim Smith? But as a kid, I think he was Rookie of the Year in Australia. You know, he's a real star in the making when he was at Parramatta, and then he went to Cronulla. Maybe he hasn't hit the heights consistently, but on his day, is as good as anything.
Tom, get out of that ruck.
Riley. McShane barking out the orders as he moves in at dummy half. Looking for the big men to take them forward here. Taken on by John Malloy, who's on from the interchange bench. 19 minutes of this first half play.
Forward movement, Sam! Let him get up! Go!
McShane.
Sam, nice and quick in that run, pal, come on.
Another interchange man, the French player Michael Simon. And Smith on the 6th tackle. How good was that? Hall kicks it on, but it was forward.
I think he knocked it on. I think he wanted to kick. Tim Sissy's telling him, I kicked that, mate. That was a set play, a little dribble kick through. I think he dropped it in the end.
Go, back on.
So a chance for Leigh here to regroup just a little. Here's Jamie Acton again.
Paul! Go. Nice inside in that look, boys. 2. Move, Danny! Come on, get away. Here we are. Go.
Tommy Gilden back to his feet, one of several Leigh-born players in this Leigh squad. This is McNally to the left-hand side. We'll pick up Kay. One-time hero here, we heard in the build-up. Scored a hat-trick, the third of those against Castleford in the last 10 seconds to win a local derby match against Castleford as a Wakefield player, but these days very much a Leigh player. Bezic rolling in. Briley puts it back to Ridyard. Ridyard on to Armstrong.
Tackle 5. Move!
Bezic. Well, I don't think he realised there were as many defenders on that side. He wasn't expecting that little welcoming committee. There were 3 of them waiting as he done it one way and went the other. And that's the handover, but not a bad place to hand over the ball.
Come back, Nick.
No, it's not the worst result. I just think Leigh are finding that the quality of this Super League team is better than what they play week in, week out. Things that would normally work out for them, a little bit of space, is not there today. So, as Earl says, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient. They're going to have to build some pressure before they can get themselves over this line.
2. Move, Sam!
Had a scrappy game last week, did Leigh, against Halifax. 2 players sent off on either side and 1 sin bin on either side. They finished the game 10 players apiece. Not the best in terms of build-up. Look at the possession though. Wakefield dominating 66% so far. And territory as well is in their favour.
5. Move! Here we are. Discipline in the rough.
6th tackle coming up. McShane. Back to Smith again.
Okay.
He's looking for distance.
Low, boys. Low.
Okay. Well, they found a bit of width on this left-hand side, and they've got a bit of pace as well. But there to make the tackle was Owen. He's not short of a yard or 2 either, is he, Richard Owen?
2. Move. Help.
Bezic. Oh, really hard with a pass on the inside has been dropped by Sam Hopkins. It's an advantage play, that's why they kick downfield. It's advantage play. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens, so they'll go back to the original knock-on where Wakefield get the head and feed here.
Well, I don't know how you feel, Earl, but I think they're pressing the self-destruct button at the moment, Leigh. I think that's the 5th time it's happened on the early tackle count and that part of the field. And
I don't think people realise how much energy it takes out of you when you do actually cough these balls up like that, because you drop the ball and you've got to do another set of 6 in defence, and we've seen it already. I've seen early on in the game Leigh players walking back on side because they're absolutely shattered, and they're relying on the full-back and wingers to bring the ball back as far forward as they can, so you don't have to get back on side. As he's a Fui Moi having a little bit of a rub down there. I don't know if that's pleasant.
It's like he's stroking his favourite cat there, doesn't he?
that's 2 people. Fui Moi and Gareth Hogg you've got to have words with. You clearly called Fui Moi a cat then, didn't you? Gareth
Hogg's trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?
You do that all yourself.
Keep the focus, whole team. Discipline.
Nice little break in the game though now, and it might be good for Leigh this, because they need to settle down a little bit. These unforced errors are just not good enough, but that probably does come down to the fact that they are losing this energy battle. But Wakefield again growing in confidence, bouncing people off. Hall there taking it forward. It's another great carry, making too many metres.
Liam, come on!
Yes, the forgotten fact about Wakefield, there's some pedigree players in this team, isn't there? It's just that lack of confidence and the lack of willpower they've had in recent times. McShane dashing away, ex-Leeds player, ex-England Academy player. This is Wasbrook on that left-hand side. They have an opportunity through a Rundle again, who reaches and is just short. But Wakefield threatening get a penalty, hanging on too long, Leigh.
We're there. Holding down. Come on. Go, back up.
So 6 tackles on the back of that penalty to have another go. Smith Dummying as he goes and eventually gets the pass away to this right-hand side, and Owen.
Movement, that's tackle one.
Liam Kay does a job.
Go.
Collis to Smith, who steps and tries to startle, and it'll be another set here because it clearly got a Leigh touch.
Help! Zero, move! Play your ball.
These tackles are mounting up, and again, another penalty.
No, get out the ruck.
Sam Barlow. Well, the pressure's beginning to mount here. Taken on by Simon.
Right, that's one. Oliver, get off him. Come on, Sam, get up. Sam.
McShane. Scrutins the runner, and impossible to stop when he runs with that desire and determination from that distance. He made mincemeat of the Leigh defence. It's a third Wakefield try. They are putting the championship team in their place at the moment.
That was just too easy. It's one of those simple tries that Brock forward looks for in the game. Run a tight line in between the A defenders back on the line, the marker, and there's a little bit of a gap, so you sneak into that little gap. He does that at 100 mile an hour and then goes over for a simple try in the end. But again, it's self-destruct around the ruck, giving penalties away. I'd love to see how many offensive misses Wakefield have had, because they're running harder, shrugging people off, and it's that little tight gap, and Sticks, as we used to call him, Greg McNally, just had no chance, and you can see the frustration there as well. This isn't working out how Leigh expected or wanted it to. This is the adversity I talked about before the game, seeing how they'd react to this, and they're in a tough position now. Wakefield growing in confidence.
What's the way back? Super coach, what's the way back for Leigh here?
Well, set by set, they need to... I don't think they're going to change the way they play, but they've got to make some better decisions with the ball in contact so they can build some pressure. And that means going toe-to-toe with Wakefield for a couple of sets and getting to the right end of the field, and maybe finishing with a pressure kick so they get the ball again, and tiring the Wakefield defence out. They've had to do all the defensively because of the way they're playing the game. And I don't think they can change that mentality of wanting to play. But the quality of the opposition today is better than what they play week in, week out, and that's the challenge for them.
Ali Loatiti has just come on the field as well, so it doesn't exactly weaken the pedigree, does it? Challenge Cup finalist with Leeds. I mean, Nick Screen has just scored. He was a grand final winner with Leeds as well, wasn't he? So as we said, there is that pedigree on the field. They know their way to win big games, and they've got another penalty here. Head Wakefield.
Wait, go that way.
Heavy collision from Platt.
Well, it's just loose. It's another penalty. I think it's a 7th or 8th. And Jamie Peacock in the build-up was absolutely right. They've got to be squeaky clean if they want to get anything against this Wakefield team, who have some really competitive players. And I think Michael Platt has been loose there and got his hand out.
It's not a knockout boy.
Right, so in that case, we're in the bin. He's got it straight round the head toe.
Right, okay.
Right,
yeah, it's too high.
but it's not a red.
This is what he saw. Clearly high.
So it's going in the bin. No, you think it's just a high tackle and we'll leave it at that? Yes. All right then. All right, penalty. Come here.
Thought the toucher did a great job there.
So did I, actually.
Absolutely great, but I think Ben Taylor was going to throw him in the dustbin, the sin bin, whatever they call it.
Listen to me, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. The first thing comes off the shoulder.
Nah, came off his chest and shoulder.
But you've gone right down his head. So
I think that's a good thing, you know, they're actually discussing it with each other. Difference of opinions almost with the referee and linesman. He shows faith in his linesman. I think it's the right decision as well, so well played both of them.
Good call.
Stern word. Leigh remain at 13. Penalty for Wakefield, who remain in the box seat in this game.
Move it, Oliver! Ali, come on! He's fine, play now!
From Jacob Miller, he's the kind of player who could really prosper when the opposition are on the back foot.
5, 3, movement!
Taken on by Malloy. Damien Johnson's on the touchline. What news, Damien?
Well, what you notice on the touchline is what a bruising encounter it is. We just saw evidence of that with that high tackle, but Johnny Malloy has a head bandage, Paul McShane a bloody nose, left a bit dazed and confused by a tackle. Tommy Goulding, his eye had to be cleaned up. It may be Wakefield on top, but it's a bruising game.
Here's Collis.
5, move! Come on!
Smith on the 6th tackle will put it high. Who fancies this? Who fancies this? Name put on it and taken by Powell.
It was a good catch, wasn't it? He was under a lot of pressure there. There was 3 or 4 white jumpers breathing down his neck and came up with a terrific catch.
I think he's hurt as well, isn't he, Panel? He's slow back to his feet too.
I think he caught one round the middle.
Wait! Go. Dan, come on the 10. 3. Move! Come on. Hold this 10. Wait!
His back bent a little awkwardly as he went down.
3.
Ridyard. Leigh taking it forward.
4. Move, Danny!
In the shape of Sam Hopkins, who's a Wigan player, isn't he? He started at Leigh and Wigan have signed him, but he's back at Leigh on loan. Smith out wide, and here they come now through Michael Platt.
5th tackle, move!
But they're up to the 5th tackle, and that early dynamic of finding themselves 20 metres away from their opposition line on this 6th tackle has all but disappeared. They're struggling on the 6th tackle here.
5.
Well, it's not the 6th, the referee says play on, but that is as good as a handover anyway, because it's a forward pass.
They're just a bit loose here, aren't they? They're just a bit shabby, Leigh. They're just a bit shocked by the intensity of what they're encountering. And
halfway, boys.
just holding nerve. I think somebody should be just get the line, get somebody speaking about let's hold our nerve and find a couple of kicks.
It's not entirely sure what to do, are they? I think they're a little bit lost. They're not used to this sort of pressure on their own line, and Wakefield kicking the ball high, catching it on their line and then defending on their line, which is a lot easier to do, and it's the position that they want to be in, and Leigh are finding it so hard to get out of there. But for me, the likes of Simon running as hard as he possibly can, you can tell that they're just growing constantly, and it makes them a lot harder to tackle. Ali now, good bit of footwork, driving through the line, even looking for an offload. It's just a little bit too easy.
McShane, Smith. Well, the Leigh fans have taken to taunting their opponents rather than cheering their home side on at the moment, because they've not a lot to cheer just at the moment. It might change. Here's McShane out of dummy half again. Lower TT, the big fella from close range, is usually very dynamic. Not allowed to be on that occasion. McShane, flick to the in-goal area. There must be a question of offside here, surely. But the referee's having a look at his touch judge to ask the question.
Right.
And that is the question that's being asked. Well, he's saying try on the field, so what about our video referees? Let's hear again from Phil Bentham and Ian Smith.
Okay, so referees it on the foot. Yeah, it looks as if he's on the cut of grass. Looking at the cuts of grass. Have we got anything a little bit closer in? Looking at those cuts of grass, it looks like he's onside initially. And pause. If you just take it back to where the ball's on the foot, please. If we pause it there, now even on that angle, he's definitely behind the ball. So I'm happy with that. It's just to the grounding, please. Yeah, the grounding's fine, that's a try.
Try confirmed. 4 tries now for Wakefield. Couldn't have gone better really for them, could it, today? They were being set up for a fall, but they are walking tall. 20 points to 0.
That's a great kick from McShane. He threads the needle. There's a big space there, and they're talking to each other, complaining that he's offside, but he clearly wasn't offside. Arundel with his second on the back of Paul McShane, threading the needle through some quite wide spaces, you'd have to say, on the goal line.
Yeah, some people shooting up and other people's hanging back a little bit. You need to work together whichever decision you make, really, but you need to really all get up. But if you do your homework on Paul McShane, that's one of those things he does quite often as well. Sometimes we say he needs his own ball because he loves to do things his own way, and he likes to have as much possession of the ball as he can, and he's a great talent, but that little kick is something that he does very often. And another try. Joe Rundle's having a real day today. I think he's loving it out there.
So Craig Hall has had an Achilles problem recently, but no sign of that anymore as he puts it over. 3 out of 4, 22 points to 0. And it seems all the pre-match hype, all the pre-match talk of Leigh coming here to wreck a few pedigrees has really hit home with this Wakefield side. They are turning it on today.
I always thought that they would. I think it's an important game for Wakefield.
Ridyard with a restart. Oh, it's bounced off Riley and into touch. Is that a little moment? It helps turn things around.
I think Ali Lawatiti initially was going to go catch that ball and bailed out, and Chris Riley thought, okay, it's mine then. Clean balled him and hit him on the shoulder.
It's one of those when you're looking on as a prop at the back and you're just hoping and praying the ball comes nowhere near you, and then you see the wingers do that and you can have a little go at them for it. But this is a good position now for Leigh. Can they do something this? Are they going to just throw the ball out the back door and give it away, or can they build a little bit of composure? Can they work together now?
McNally was well marshalled there by the Wakefield defence. I'm interested to get Earl's thoughts on McNally, because he signed for your Huddersfield, didn't he? He's a real superstar. We'll get that in just later on in the game. Briley with the ball over the top. Step back on the inside. Panel is looked after. So McNally again, spinning it back to Briley. Here's Barlow. He's got impact. He can make a real difference. Bezic, options both ways, goes left to Ridyard, inside for Hopkins. 3 defenders are there, so they've gone through 5 tackles. Can the 6th make an impression on this Wakefield defence? Bezic out to Ridyard, they've got some numbers here. Briley doesn't need the numbers, skips back on the inside and touches down. Over 500 points now for Ryan Briley. That takes him to 501. His 16th try in just 15 appearances, but most important in the context of this game, it gives Leigh a little hope.
Yeah, absolutely does, and they're not going to change the way they play. Here's a mistake from Chris Riley that gives them the opportunity at this end of the field, but they have a pop and it's the last play, and Wakefield are expecting the kick, but no way. Leigh are running this play. Look at the shape out the back. Briley's so quick, he's going to embarrass any one-on-one defender there and get over the line.
We know they like to run the ball, and they need to get themselves in this position more often to have these opportunities. They've already shown they can score points, and I think that's what Paul Rowley will be saying. If you control the ball, hold on to it, the opposition will make mistakes at some point, but then you can take advantage of that. They've done exactly that there. They've thrown the ball around as they do, scored a great try, and hopefully give themselves more confidence now to move on and score a few more.
Well, Ridyard's kicked the goal, so 22 points to 6. It's a 3-score game now instead of the 4. Some great finishing here.
Well, they're very nervous on the fringes of the Wakefield defence because they're outnumbered. You know, they've got 6 black shirts there ready to run at the line, and Braley just needs half a yard, and well, he doesn't need half a yard. He took whatever footage they gave him, inches that they gave him.
He probably just got to get up there because they stood on their own line, and even if they do tackle him, he's going to fall over the line anyway. Get off the line together and put him under some pressure and hopefully score out wide.
Ball with the restart. And if you're wondering, by the way, that I'm calling him Briley and Brian's calling him Brealey. We've had this conversation before with him, and he says there's a difference of opinion in his own household. His mum says Briley, and his dad says Briley, and his mum says Brealey. So you can't criticise us for not getting it consistent.
Play on!
Bezic. Oh, they're trying to go quick back on the middle, but it's a knock on, and it's another mistake. And look at Wakefield's celebration here.
That was a big play. Either way, the defence was fantastic. They worked hard for each other. The lack of skill in the end, it was a little bit mistimed. I think cost them dearly. And again, they put themselves in a real tough position. The inside ball, it was on. But just the time wasn't there. Great D. They worked hard there. They deserve that. Nice shot.
Just got enough of the arm in the way for that not to be a shoulder charge, wasn't there? Well, I just need to lift my arm up and then I can't be penalised.
I don't need you coming on saying all that.
Is Ridyard going to be okay? It's a bench of 4 forwards, isn't it? Haggerty, Hopkins, Wilkes and Barlow. There's nothing for Leigh to go to if they lose one of their playmakers on the bench.
No, wait there. Stay on, wait there! Wait! Tim! Right, get your heads in. Out!
McShane. Here's Hall.
One move, Sam! Wait here, boys. Wait here, boys. Wait here, boys. Sam, come on! Go.
McShane.
Andy,
Pierre, who's Relatively
Move, Sammy,
fresh
get out.
pair of legs on the field as well. He's been missing the last 8 weeks with a knee injury. Smith again puts it back to Hall. Here comes Collis. Collis with a pass out wide. For a moment there looked like there was daylight for Owen to run into, but it closed quickly. Collis wants it played quickly. Back to Smith. Washbrook. Simon was a dummy runner down the middle.
Help! Get off him! Bob!
McShane. Short pass to Titi from Miller, but they're running out of tackles here. 1 left to play, so Tim Smith, the general, is in there again and threads it through again, and Armstrong's got a job to do. He's done the first part, but he can't get out of the in-goal area for the second part, so it's a drop out underneath the sticks.
Again, it's that short kicking game. Tim Smith, or Hall was it that time? Now Smith. Tough job for Tom Armstrong to get out of there with the Wakefield chase, and here's the type of pressure that Wakefield are building, the Super League team, and Leigh may take a leaf out of their book if they get down the other end.
It's contrasted playing styles, you know, they're well in front and just controlling the game and keeping possession as well. I think it's great play by Wakefield. Leigh struggling, but they're defending as well at times.
That's a great tackle from the Leigh team there. Gang tackled him and he dropped the ball.
Going out of play, wasn't it? Was it? No, just lost it.
Thrown a little bit of an advantage away there, Wakefield, right end of the field, and
He's making a comeback.
I say the Leigh have got to get themselves in the game, and that's a great way of doing it. Defending hard and working hard for each other, and they forced the error. They deserved everything they got there. But now you've got to keep hold of that ball when you've earned it. They've done that now. You need to build that momentum and try and get into a corner. Just try and win the territory battle as much as anything else. 42% territory. It's just, you can't play like that.
Stay there.
3.5 minutes of the half remaining here.
You two, Simon, get away.
Barlow, what's going on? What's going on? That's the most absurd obstruction we've seen all season.
It's like he had blockers.
Well, he gave himself up as well. It's just, if he runs into the line there, he probably gets away with that. But what's this? Straight from the scrum. Armstrong, somebody's missed their assignment there, Sam Barlow or somebody. And
No, he's got it. If he'd have gone down, he's away, but... We're doing, guys, come on.
22-6. Do they think about a kick for goal? Well, they're not doing because they're going for touch, but...
well, this is,
let's go.
If he goes for touch here, this is huge in the context of the game.
Just a tap. Simon drives it in.
Sam, get out of there!
6 tackle that Leigh have to survive. 6 tackles that might put Wakefield in absolute control of the cup tie if they can get over the try line.
Bob, come on.
McShane, Smith. Kermit is pushing, and he's going to be held up short.
Get off!
McShane again. Smith again with a step. Not just a kicker and a passer, he's a stepper as well. McShane camping on this line. Pear, Lapini Pear. Brute force is not going to get them over. 5 gone. McShane again. Last tackle. Well, he's not going to kick for it. He's going to try and bellow over. Well, the referee is not sure. He had a really good view of that, it seemed. But he's asking a question.
I'm going to do a movement.
No try, he says on the field, so the video refs have to find a way of proving him wrong. Let's hear from them now. Phil Bentham and Ian Smith.
Okay, mate. Well, let's have slow-mo first, and then... So, tackle's down there, and he makes a second movement for me. So, we can watch it in normal speed, please, just to make sure that the momentum hasn't taken him over.
I don't think it is.
Down. No, it's a definite second movement with the ball. No try and a penalty.
Bob, boys! See ya, the penalty.
I think he dropped it as well.
Told me already.
Eh?
She told me already.
No try. Penalty for Leigh for the double movement. The Wakefield players have to get back because they were lining up on the halfway line thinking they scored that.
Ready, guys.
But it's a penalty for
Okay,
what a let off.
Back on.
Was that game over?
It could well have been. It was a massive set, but when he went to
Boys,
touch,
come on,
I thought this is
discipline,
a
boys.
huge set for Leigh. They've got to
Ali, wait here,
repel
boys.
their borders
Go.
for
Take him
6
low.
players.
Tackle.
Good defence again on the line though, Leigh. They are showing that they can defend when they need to. It's just a case of they're not putting themselves in decent enough positions, dropping too many balls and just not in control. They don't actually know what they're doing at times, which is the disappointing thing for a team that's gone on and won so many games on the bounce.
Well, I think Wakefield are spooking them, that's why, Earl. I think they've got great line speed and they're getting into the line on their ball players, which is just unnerving them.
Well, they're driving their way back inside their opponent's half. Hopkins, the latest on the gallop. Bezic to Ridyard. Numbers out here. Armstrong ganged up on by two defenders who came in quickly. Final tackle come out. Bezic again has gone down the blind side. McNally puts the kick in. It should be easy for Hall, although a cute, cheeky little bounce. Armstrong's after him, but Hall's done well to get back in the field of play. And a second attempt at the tackle there, wasn't it? Anyway. They have a chance here, Wakefield, with ball in hand, but they've got a lot of yardage to do simply to get away from trouble. Leigh will want to step in defence here. Lower TT plays it. Riley to the right-hand side. Owen running in. Good effort from the winger. Here's the other winger, Riley. Well, they've cleared some yards. Up to the 40-metre mark. And they've only got 5, and here comes Hall to take them even further. Lovely little inside pass from Smith. Hall's looking for support here. Can he find it? Not before McNally gets in with a tackle, but they've gone 85 yards in 5 tackles, and now they have a penalty. How about that for clearing your lines?
Well, they exploited a hole in and around the ruck. The Leigh forwards were tiring after 3 big efforts to try and restrict the territory that Wakefield were making, and the inside pass from Tim Smith to Craig Hall split them wide open. It's a great tackle in the end by McNally, and they're deciding to take 2 points here, Wakefield, with only, what, 20 seconds on the clock.
Sorry, no, but it's the exact same play that Leigh tried to do earlier on, but instead of actually defending it, they, in this instance, went straight through the line. It's well executed, great timing, and could have gone on to score a try, but the support there, I think they defended obviously on their own line, so they're lacking a little bit of energy, the Wakefield players, to get there, but great composure in the end, take the tackle, and then a penalty off the back of it.
Well, the hoots have sounded, but there'll still be time for the penalty kick. This is a big half-time team talk now from Paul Rowley, isn't it? He's going to have to turn things around now for his side. Craig Hall will take all the time in the world, no rush with this. Last kick of the half. Hall puts it right between the sticks, and Wakefield lead here by 24 points to 6. They'll still have a battle on their hands in the second half, I'm sure, but they've laid a platform for a morale-boosting win with what they've done so far. 24-6, Wakefield lead at half-time.
Ryan Briley's with me. Ryan, did they take you by surprise slightly with their Super League quality?
No, definitely not. We knew it was going to be a tough start. Coming into Wakefield, it was going to be a tough game. So I think we've been pretty poor, mate. We need to sharpen up because we know it's going to be a tough game coming here. So we need to sharpen up for the second half.
Have you forced the play a bit too much, do you feel?
It's the way we play, mate. I mean, our completion haven't been great, but against this Wakefield side, we need to complete better. So hopefully we'll be able to fix that up for the second half.
Thanks, Ryan. Danny Kerman, the Wakefield captain's with us as well. Danny, you must be delighted with that first half performance.
Yeah, half the job done. We started really good. Our middles really laid a good platform for us early on, and we've got some good players off the back of that. It's just important we back it up with another good 40 now.
The returning players from injury important for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's a squad game, isn't it? You need everyone to perform well, and to get like Dean Collis back is really good. But we know it's going to be tough this second half. We're really up for it, and we'll come out hard.
Thanks, Danny.
Well, we heard Ryan Briley talk there about the completion rates, and if you take a look at the match stats, less than 50% completion rate there for Leigh. That's not a good stat. And the other one that jumps out at you, they've given away 7 penalties compared to Wakefield's 2. Kind of tell the story of that, don't they, Jamie?
Yeah, it does. Well done, Wakefield. We asked Wakefield to draw a line in the sand and come out and play well, show some attitude and purpose, and I think they've done that. And Leigh have allowed them to do that, though, with the amount of errors and possession they've given away and ill discipline. Paul Rowley spoke about 6.5 penalties a game. They give that away in one half of football. They really do need to improve.
Have you been surprised by Leigh?
I think the lack of attention to detail with the ball's been frustrating. I think with our predictions before the game, we were expecting.
I wasn't going to rub it in.
No, Leigh to turn up and produce a good performance in the first half. I don't think they have. I don't think they'll be pleased with how they've played at all. Wakefield on the back of that, we were maybe questioning their desire and maybe their effort and intensity to defend. Well, I don't think we've really seen them be scrutinised by Leigh enough to see whether they're really at the races today. But what they have done very well, Wakefield, is take their opportunities, and with all the possession and field position that they've had, they've scored points, and it's looking a very difficult position now for Leigh in the second half.
Looking at the first try, and we talked about their confidence beforehand, is it perhaps just tipped over to arrogance? They're overplaying.
I don't think it's arrogant. I do think they need to have a little bit more respect to the ball. Maybe they're used to having the habits of playing against teams who aren't quite as good, and we see far too many errors, but some of these are basic really. You're going to look at Michael Platt's ball carrying. He needs the ball in two hands really there.
Yeah, two-hand carry is preferable. Chris Riley, obviously, he's got wheels, he's a quick lad, and Fufu Moy with a great chase back, but Chris Riley with the first try. But that was a product of poor ball control from Leigh, and they've been guilty of it all day in the first half. But a poor carry from Platt, and it leads to points, and it was a tale of the half.
And it gives Wakefield confidence, doesn't it? Yeah. They might have been nervous before.
Exactly, yeah, and you get confidence through both sides of the game, defending well, attacking well. Wakefield have attacked very well, and they've certainly grown in confidence. But with that amount of possession and field position, you must score points.
I think as well, normally when you're in a big game and you're defending your own half and you get a breakaway try from defence, that gives you a massive boost in confidence. We got one like that yesterday. Callum Watkins broke early on, and you've gone from defending to being 6 points up.
Change the game, can't it, very quickly, yeah.
They didn't learn, did they, either? I mean, what led to the second try, Gareth thought, an offload he didn't need to make, perhaps?
Yeah, no, I think that, look, Gareth's going to do this. I think you bring somebody like Gareth to the club because you want to encourage him to do that. But there's timing and game management. Off the back of that, Nick Scruton plays the ball quickly here, and what we saw was something quite a common picture for Leigh, was an unstructured ruck. McNally's ushering one of his defenders to the short side. McShane spots this. Tim Smith here highlighted him. If you give a halfback 10 metres to run and 3 or 4 seconds on the ball, as Tim Smith has got here, he'll come up with the right decision, and the short kick for the Arundel try was the right thing. And really, the unstructured ruck, how quick that was one of the reasons that Arundel scored.
I think just before we see the Scruton try here, Tim Smith taking the line on, we spoke about that before the game. That's going to be a good sign for Wakefield if this is happening. Now, I think Paul McShane's been absolutely wonderful this half. He's been exquisite with his skill. We're going to see some poor real discipline, but just watch Paul McShane here.
Yeah, so again, same situation. I think the rucks, it's too quick. The markers aren't quite set, so these guys here need to be square and ready. The guy's retreating into the line. It probably needs to be a step further in. That would allow him to come up square. Great run, great line from Scruton.
They're the fine details within the game. You might be watching that and thinking it's only a metre, but that's the difference between no try and a try. But again, McShane at the heart of it draws the marker in and sets the ball through to Nick Scruton. Now, it's a long. I love Nick Scruton. I played alongside him, and it's a long time since I've seen him run that hard. He's been running very hard in this game. He's back to what we saw in the first couple of rounds when Wakefield were a dominant side.
But yeah, they've had real intensity, Wakefield, and I think they've had energy. And I think Earl mentioned in commentary, actually, which was really smart, is rugby league's an energy battle, and if you concede possession, turn over the ball too much, you're lacking energy, and defending well becomes difficult. On the flip side to that, Wakefield have had the ball, they've got energy, they look enthused, and people like Nick Scruton can run onto the ball with aggression because they're full and fresh, and that's been the difference ultimately in the first half.
You talked about McShane and how key he's been, very key in Arundel's second try.
Yeah, McShane is a player I played with at Leeds, and his ability to control a game and exploit weaknesses in defence, and that vision he's got is exceptional. Now, what we're going to see, we used to call him McShortside at Leeds because he loves to go down the short side, which we mean the narrow side of the pitch. And here we can see Riley looking in at nobody when he should be further up there. He's leaving the gap behind him, and McShane sees this and exploits it. Beautiful little kick in behind.
But Riley just needs to come up with something there. He needs to either get in the way of the guy who, Arundel track his run in, but it's a great kick from McShane. There's not many hookers do that.
That kick is absolutely perfect. He's used the vision, saw Briley come up with nobody and weighted it to absolute perfection. Beautiful play.
The impressive thing about that was the couple of plays. McShane built that play. He played to a short, a big guy. He knew that was coming, and he sets players up, doesn't he? 2 or 3 plays in consecutive plays, and that makes him a threat.
Yeah, like Kevin Sinfield yesterday, we spoke about his game management, the ability to manage a game. Now, Paul McShane can do this. He can manage a game, take his side around the field and control that. And I think he's been exceptional at that in this first half.
Well, what do you think Paul Riley will be saying to his players in the dressing room?
It's pretty simple, really. They need to complete the sets. Okay, they play with a lot of shape and movement, but you just need to catch the ball and build pressure. We speak in rugby league about building pressure, which means you finish your set of 6, kick, let them complete theirs, then you finish another set of 6 and keep doing that until you win field position, and then you can play a little bit more.
Yeah, we talked about the winning streak. I mean, this is an unusual situation for them, isn't it? They don't know how to be in this place, do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's unique. I think obviously they've been on such a good run of wins that this is a different dressing room to what they've been used to. And in these situations you find out who your leaders are, because look, the score is 24-6 and Leigh have got 2 options here. One is come out and be ill-disciplined, lose possession in the second half, or they can come out and, with a great attitude, some intensity, and get some energy from this break and try and change the game. And it's in these situations you find out who your leaders are.
And is it useful to see Oliver Wilkes there weighing in?
Well, he's got a vast amount of experience at Super League level, and you in the dressing room now, you can do a lot of talking, but ultimately be actions in the second half that'll dictate how well Leigh did.
Well, Ryan Briley, we saw what Leigh can do, didn't we, with this try, if they get down that right end of the pitch?
Yeah, I think we've seen with Leigh, they've got some great structure and shape and 2 really good halves. Sean's highlighted that earlier on. And I think they're going to be dangerous when they get down into Wakefield's 20, but they've just not been there through their errors and penalties. Now they need to come out and do that. And I think I'm pleased for this game that this try was scored, because it makes a game of it in the second half. 3 tries is not unsurmountable for a team as Leigh. They can score points. You can see that they clearly can score points.
Leigh need to come out and score first. The team that scores first, will go into a very good position. Leigh, it's a long way back for Leigh, but if they need to score first in the second half.
Well, the Challenge Cup final this year will mark 120 years since the formation of the game back at the George Hotel in Huddersfield. And to mark that, a very special statue will be unveiled at Wembley with 5 very special players. They are Gus Risman, Martin Offiah, Billy Ashton, Eric Ashton, Billy Boston and Alex Murphy. Well, we thought we'd get our own legend of the game, Ray French, to take a look at all 5 players. And he starts with somebody he knows very well, the Leigh, St Helens and Warrington halfback, Alex Murphy.
Confidence, cocky, arrogance, great. Alex was probably the greatest player I ever played with.
Murphy, dummying Smith and Banks, ran over without a hand being placed on him.
He had amazing pace off the mark. He had wonderful skills in sidestep, in running. He had everything.
And away goes Murphy. Murphy, the skipper, Harriet boy, and away goes Murphy. Away sails over in that brilliant fashion.
Many pundits often used to refer to Alec as Murphy the Mouth. Well, he did do a lot of shouting, but this was part of his weaponry. It spurred him on, and it spurred other people on alongside him.
Well, we had no chance, so we've not done bad, have we?
But the main aspect for me that he had was confidence. As a young lad coming from rugby union, I hadn't been at St Helens for more than 2 months. Sitting in the dressing room, waiting, and suddenly Alec gets up and he starts to comb his hair. About 3 minutes before kick-off, he's putting a beautiful parting in down the side here. He's rolling his wave back with a little bit of cream in his hand. And I said, Alex, what are you doing? There's 3 minutes to kick off, and you are combing your hair. He said, Frenchie, your mum and dad might be coming to watch you. There's 22,000 coming to see me. And that was Alec.
Yeah, some great memories there, and if you don't agree with the 5, I should point out they're not the choice of the BBC. It was down to a public vote, but one man who was probably very unlucky to miss out is Neil Fox. He's with Damien.
Yes, the legendary Wakefield centre is with me. That's more like it from your old club, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah, it's nice to see, without a doubt. I mean, you know, the Leigh came out with all the guns firing, but I think Wakefield's experience is just telling in this first half.
Have we seen an example of the gap that still exists between Super League and the Championship, perhaps?
Yeah, there's a big gap. I mean, Leigh are time players now and coaches, but I think a Super League team, you can tell the difference. They're playing week in and week out harder matches than the Championship sides, and it's shown today.
What do you want to see from your side in the second half? Just get the job done?
Just get the job done, yeah, we're 18 points in front. I can't see Leigh coming back, although they've been trying, but I think the experience is go for Wakefield, and especially in the forwards. And Tim Smith at half-back, he's controlling the game.
What's it been like for you to watch the struggles of your old team during the course of this season?
It's been very bad. I mean, the first 2 matches we started off all right at Castleford and Hull Kingston, but since then we've just lost and lost and lost, and the defence hasn't been right.
We'll see you later for the draw, Neil. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Neil will be helping us with the draw for the quarter-final, which we will see at full time, so do keep watching for that. And following us here on BBC 2, we'll have the highlights of the World Series Triathlon from Yokohama. Non-Stanford making her return to action after 20 months out. And this evening, over on BBC 1, you can see highlights from this weekend's Diamond League Athletics meeting in Shanghai. That's at 11:35. Greg Rutherford among those competing. Fingers crossed we can have a comeback from Leigh in this second half as the teams come out. Let's take you up to the commentary box. Earl Crabtree, Brian Noble and Dave Woods.
Well, always great to see Neil Fox, and it's always worth reiterating that wonderful statistic about his career. Rugby League's top scorer, top point scorer, 6,220 points. And as our mate Mick Morgan always puts it into context, he says if you have a 20-year career and you play 30 matches every one of those 20 years, and you score 10 points in every one of those matches, you'd still be 220 points short of Neil Fox's total. Phenomenal career he had, and thanks to Mick Morgan for that wonderful stat. Second half about to get underway. What's going to change, Earl Crabtree, or is anything going to change?
I'm not so sure anything will change, but I hope it does for Leigh's sake, simply because they need to get themselves into the game. But I'm sure at half-time Paul Rowley will have talked about keeping hold of the ball, build momentum, field position, kick the ball to the corner, kick hard, chase hard, and I think they'll come out the back of this with a few more points and a little bit more respect, I think, because at the moment they're just not doing enough. Wakefield have been fantastic. They'll want more of the same.
Well, there's a little step and a charge through. This is a terrific start as Hopkins goes flying downfield. He's looking for support, maybe one or two quicker men on his heels, but they've overrun him, they've gone past him. So he'll have to get up and play the ball. Here's Bezic to that left-hand side, and Barlow now trying to punch his way through.
Great break from Hopkins. And then maybe did we see a better decision when he was hanging the ball out there for somebody to support? Couldn't quite give it to anybody, so kept hold.
Briley with a short pass, and Golden, oh, just at his ankles, tapped by Miller. How big a moment from Jacob Miller. By the skin of his fingertips. Oh, Briley's kick is straight into the hands of Lapini Pea, and Wakefield are led off the hook.
Wow. Wow, Golden just gets ankle tapped by Miller, as we see there, which is a try saver. Every day of the week you think he's going over. Well done, Jacob Miller. And then the last play from Briley just lets them completely off the hook, Wakefield, because they were all at 6s and 7s. He just had to thread the needle through, and watch this from Miller. Whoosh, oh, just got his ankle.
That's a ridiculous tackle, and it's a great start, as we talked about for Leigh. That's exactly what they needed with Golden. He runs that little fade, a little overs line which cuts around Jacob Miller, and you don't think he's going to get there, but he has got a bit of speed as Jacob Miller, so he gets there as quickly as possibly can. He knows he's not going to make it in time to make a good tackle, and just risks it. Dives, taps his ankle like he used to do in school to my mates going up the stairs, flicks his ankle around the back of his other and trips him over. I think it's an absolutely brilliant tackle.
There's the Hopkins break.
Yeah.
Great left foot step, and he was gone, wasn't he? And there's some good decision making here, but he just can't quite find a black jersey to give it to
But he makes the right decision in keeping hold of the ball. Instead of just throwing it out the back door, that puts them in a great position. Off the back of that, then they nearly make another breaking score. But I think it's Simon looking a little bit worse for wear. It's a good start by Leigh. They need to keep this up as well, because this is a good opportunity to pin them down in their area, make them work hard to come off their line, and then hopefully that'll make sure that they have less energy later on in the game, because that's what it's all about, that energy battle.
Scott Anderson coming on here. This is where Simon got his injury in amongst all of that.
Guys, wait for the foot.
Knees and elbows in there.
Wait, guys, wait. Back on. Low.
Rare half-time talk for James Webster. Talking to a winning side at half-time today, and a chance maybe for them to just give a kick-start to their season, Wakefield. It's an opportunity that the cup provides. There's another injury here as well. The man who's just come on, Anderson, he's down and hurting.
Move, Sam! Yeah, boys. Ready? Go.
McShane, Smith, Pear, Hopkins with a shoulder. Shot, says Earl Crabtree, he enjoyed that. This is Hall. It's an awkward bounce, and it will take it out of play beyond Liam Kay, but Leigh get the head and feet here. 10 from their own
Well,
line.
the early signs for Leigh in the second half are pretty good, aren't they? They had a great offensive set when they might well have scored with a couple of clean breaks, and then defensively they've aimed up as well. You know, Earl throwing in his shot call is a fact that Leigh are getting forward and trying to stop the big blokes from Wakefield.
The only concern for me is when Leigh are going back to this scrum now, you can see the players arriving there late. They don't show that intensity to get back there. It's their ball, and they're the ones sort of jogging back. They're well behind, and I'd like to see a little bit more out of them to get back onside a little bit quicker and look a little bit more interested. Because Wakefield, even that kick chase was really good, and they managed to get themselves out of trouble with a great set.
Platt's taken high. Another penalty for Leigh. And Boyle will find touch as a result of that high tackle. So attack restart for Bezic, 40 metres from the line. Here's Oliver Wilkes, twice a Wakefield player, of course. He was a real favourite here back in the day, Ollie Wilkes. Not today.
Move, Danny!
Dixon. Oh, it's lost. It's a penalty, another penalty for Leigh. So let's go down to the touchline, because Damien Johnson has been hearing what's been said in the two dressing rooms at half-time. Damien.
Yeah, Dave, James Webster said we've got to control the ball better, build on the kick, chase and field position. Defend, he says, they're going to come at us in the second half. Leigh's coach says 40 minutes to play. We've not started playing yet, he says, Paul Rowley. Keep trying to get the ball out wide. He says we are not going to alter our style of play.
Well, here is Kay on that left-hand side, who's very close. They've had to come from behind in their last two league games of Leigh. Oh, and it's all getting a bit fiery, and the punches are being thrown here.
Tim Smith with his arm cocked there, he was ready to go. And you knew this was going to happen at some point there, because it is getting a little bit feistier. And you know there's frustration setting in for both teams, because Leigh are actually at the advantage at the moment. It is not all going Wakey's way now, so they're in a little bit of adversity. A couple of penalties against, losing the cool. But it's Leigh who need to remain in control at this moment. They're the ones that are going to get the ball back, I'm sure of it. And they need to score points. The only way to do that is to have the ball.
The push, coming with a swing, and another swing. And Kay tries to get back at him, and Bezic's trying to get in and break things up.
Then we've got punches thrown by.
Armstrong's in there as well. I think he saw the cocked fist of Tim Smith and decided that he'd make sure he couldn't throw it.
I don't think I've ever seen Tim Smith throw a punch.
There's nothing else in terms of play. Kerman for Wakefield. Right.
It's a card. It's a card. Yellow card. Who's he showing this to?
Go.
Danny Kerman.
Danny Kerman is off for 10 minutes.
Off you go.
Is there another for Kay? It's a slow walk away.
You're going as well.
And another yellow card. And Kay is the man, former Wakefield player, who will join his former teammate in the sin bin for the next 10 minutes. So they're down to 12 aside here. Is that advantage Leigh, because a winger for a second rower? Would you take that?
No, I think this stop in the game is not an advantage to Leigh. I think they're in the ascendancy. They had a couple of penalties, they made a couple of breaks, they're going forward, and this distraction I don't think helps them.
I don't need your man then running in. That's why we've got them. The first defence against Wakefield, right? And we sort it out.
Calming talk for Danny Westbrook and Bob Bezic.
Yeah.
The two sides representatives on the field. The captain, the main captain has been sin bin. He can't take that talk. So attack restart for Leigh, and an opportunity here for Leigh as Wilkes finds himself stopped only 10 yards away. Bezic flips it out the back door. Ridyard to Briley over the top. Here's a chance for Pownall, who will score on the dive at full stretch. Just what they needed, just what they desired. Leigh are making a fight of this.
They certainly are, and it comes from the field position. It comes from clearly their different attitude to getting to the right end of the field. Danny came on with a few swings and air swings, so those two go to the bin, and then it's just Leigh shape. They've got lots of people in motion, lots of movement, and terrific pass from Braley to find the winger in the end over the top, because the upper end defence of Wakefield couldn't quite stop it. Both halves going into the line and taking a shot for their troubles, which helps preserve the space on the fringes.
You see Riley just wedging in there. He takes a gamble on it. It's the guy out the back. And eventually it's the wrong decision. I think he has to get up anyway, simply because they seem short of numbers. But we said that going down to 12 men probably didn't help Leigh. But at the same time, they do like to throw the ball wide, so it does create a little bit more space. But I think there was just a lack of energy there from Wakefield. They didn't seem to be running around quite as quick and getting back on side. And what a start by Leigh.
Has it gone over? It has gone over. That's a big kick, 24-12. So now there are only 2 scores in it, 2 tries, 2 goals without concession, and Leigh are back level. Does this create a few demons in the Wakefield heads now?
Of course it does, simply because they've been in this position before, haven't they, Wakefield? They conceded a couple of tries in weeks gone by and then conceded a heck of a lot more straight after. Now they need to stop that run straight away, make sure they get down there, big defensive set, no more breaks. But Leigh, confidence again. Watch them start running a little bit harder now.
Wilkes taken on the shoulder, the referee says. Fell back dramatically, but the appeals from the Leigh players turned down by the referee straight away. Push back.
He's a tough kid, is Oliver Wilkes. He'll whinge, but he'll get up.
Ready, Paul! Go.
That's fair enough, isn't it? Down that left-hand side goes Dixon, who's up and plays it. Off the boot, that looked a little untidy, but it was off the boot from Bezic.
Stand! Didn't get your arm out! Go. Hold tidy your hooks up.
Ridyard drills it. That's a good kick. That's a terrific kick from Ridyard.
40-20.
I think he was just outside the 40. Certainly in the 20. Oh, it is a 40-20. Brian Noble, super coach, he's done it again. What a kick. What a turnaround in dynamics now, eh?
That's a fabulous kick. He's seen where Hall is. It's absolutely brilliant kick, because he's got no space to play with there. Hall's pretty much cornered off that right-hand side in relation to territory and yardage, and he's nailed it. Absolutely nailed that kick.
Purple patch for Leigh now, and this is where you've got to take them or make the most of this situation. The fact that you've got the ball yet again straight after a try is unbelievable, because now you've got that opportunity to create more opportunities to score tries. They need points.
Let's hear quickly from Robbie Hunter-Paul, who's down on the sidelines. Robbie.
Oh, quickly, just looking at what Leigh Centurions want to put on now. But if the game descends into being just a little bit grubby, a little bit of biff comes into the game, that'll play right into Leigh Centurions' hands. What Wakefield did really well in the first half was they kept the intensity of the game really quick. But with the stop-start nature of a little bit of scrapping coming into it, that'll play to the speed of what the Leigh Centurions want to play. What the Wakefield need to do is keep the intensity right up there, keep the game and speed of the game going really quick.
McNally tackle, Bezic throws it back here, Ridyard again, out to Briley with a little kick to the in-goal area, chase, scrambled, legs, limbs all over the place, and eventually hacked away, drop out underneath the sticks. It's a cup tie now.
Somebody just dive on the ball if you're a Wakefield player. Somebody had a fresh air swing at this. I'm confident that great kick from Briley. Craig Hall missed it by a mile.
Play keeper, please.
Well, eventually,
Lads, discipline, let's get back
They
on it.
managed to get it away.
It's a great kick though, isn't it? It's a fantastic bit of play there again, with composure.
It's a scruffy dropout. Well, he collects it. Here comes Hopkins. He's been making an impact in this second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, made a difference, hasn't he?
No, he's backing him around. Let him get up,
Desert.
get away.
Wilkes. Good offload, is it? Yes, it is, because they've kept it alive. McNally throws it left, and here's Dixon again round the shoulder, according to the referee.
Go.
Bezic. Ridyard. Briley. Little gap. Oh, that's a penalty. Soon as the legs go up in the air, the penalty has to be given. It's like a Catherine wheel spinning through the Wakefield area. And something tells me they're not happy with that tackle.
Yeah, well, it does look worse than it actually is, but it's an illegal tackle. It's a dangerous tackle.
It's not as bad because he lets go of him. Because if he drives him straight into the fall, then he could be in a lot of trouble. He does let go, which manages him to actually manipulate his body to get out of that really, really bad position. I think he's lucky there, Jacob Miller. Also the lead player as well, simply because it could have been a heck of a lot worse.
Miller was holding in, wasn't he? Because he knew there might be a few fists flying as
You've
well.
let go of me there.
So good on the ropes and held it in.
Tim, you've got to start listening to me. We give more penalties away now in about 9 minutes than you end the full first half. Sort your discipline out and listen to me. I'm going to pull them out as well. I don't need you guys running in. Bob!
But momentum has switched completely. Completely.
It's important that Leigh concentrate and turn that momentum into points so they can make this game even more nervous for Wakefield and give themselves that element of confidence.
It's almost like role reversal, because it's Wakefield that seem to be the niggly team, the scrappy team at the moment, looking to do things that they wouldn't normally do. For some reason, they've gone away from what they were doing really well.
Well, it's a forward pass from Briley. Forward pass, and the Wakefield players again running in to congratulate themselves as if somehow they've manufactured that. But I think it's a relief as much as anything, because they knew the pressure was building there. Standing on the line, collected in front of the line.
It's the right decision, and it's Mushane that actually puts a little bit of pressure on, and you can say that's a good bit of play by him, because he gets so hard. He does create a little bit of a triangle where there's a bit of a gap to run into. Fortunately, the execution wasn't really there. It's a let-off really for Wakefield, because Leigh have been fantastic, but can they back this up now with some great defence?
Robbie Hunter-Paul, what are you thinking down there on the sidelines?
Well, momentum is definitely going back in Leigh's favour. Now, one thing to note, earlier this season, the opening game of the championship, Leigh actually turned around a 20-point deficit against the Bradford Bulls to come out with a win, which has consolidated their position of them on top of the championship. So they have been there before, and they do know how to hold on, come back into a game and square it away.
Oh, there's a hit. There's a hit. Tommy Golden, hard as nails. There's the proof. Lower Titi. We're about to see Kurt Haggerty come on the field. Have we seen him before in this game? Will this be his first inclusion? Here's Tim Smith with a kick downfield. McNally's chasing back. There's a good chase from Wakefield here. All he can do is take the tackle. Don't get too close to that touchline. Haggerty is on now. Fui Moi Moi's about to come on as well for Leigh. Platt. This is Haggerty. Moi. The big fella. Oh, off he crashes.
Oh, move down!
Bezic. Barlow pops it over the top to Armstrong. But they're on the sixth tackle. Ridyard. Where's he going? What's he going to do with it? Throws it back to Platt. Platt tries to thread it through, because it was a sixth tackle, of course. It's not a bad kick, actually. It's not a bad kick. Oh! Wow.
Turned into a great kick.
Go, Nick. Are you all right with that? Time off, James.
Well, Platt.
No, I've got to go line drop. I'm about the tackles committed.
Platt and McShane have stayed down injured after that.
I think they're just looking at what happened to great ball from Sam Barlow to the winger, wasn't it?
Tom Armstrong, who's in that position, by the way, is a bright lad, is Tom. He's doing his MA in Petroleum Engineering at Manchester University. He had an exam yesterday, and he had to give a dissertation presentation earlier this week as well. So it's a tough all week. The Rugby League, the Cup tie today is a bit of an escape from all that university studying that he's had to do.
Down here, boys.
Making his 50th appearance for Leigh as well today, Tom Armstrong. Well, they're beginning to believe. Is he? What was your MA in, Earl?
You say petroleum
engineering, yeah.
Is that petrol pump attendant?
A little bit higher rank than that.
I do have a degree.
Do you?
Yes, I do. It's an honorary one. I was a bit of a fraud.
Go, Andy, come on!
Bezic. Barlow.
So move it, Paul! Ready, back in, Andy.
Bezic again. Working some hard minutes here. Haggerty, whose left foot is lethal from that position if he can get a kick away, but this time tries to run it.
Ready, Paul, go line! Go line, go.
Ridyard. Brierley spinning it across the Platt, who's recovered. Little ball inside for Pownall. Having a search, thought he'd found it, but he hadn't. Look for defenders closing in quickly. This is a run from Bezic, who might have got this down, you know. Well, the referee's going to ask the question. Bezic is celebrating like a man who feels he's scored. The referee thinks it's a try, but isn't sure. So let's hear from Phil Bentham and Ian Smith on this.
OK, mate. So looking to see whether he loses the ball and grabs it correctly. So he's done it, no problem there. Possibly a high tackle initially there if he doesn't score, but we'll go back to that if need be. It looks a try. If we could just get a little bit closer on the grounding, please. He's still up there, the ball's definitely up and grounded, no problem. That's a try.
Is coming Wakefield's way.
Well done, Bob Bezic, but a piece of the cake's got to go to Fui more and more, because he attracts the attentions of Carl Hall there, and the air defender, the first defender in front of him, which gives Bob Bezic the opportunity to run. Craig Hall wants Fui, gets upstream. Bob Bezic sees the gap in between and takes on Paul McShane, and brilliant job to get the ball down even.
Yeah, that's what you want in a game of rugby. It's a big man against small men, and when you can do that, as a kick goes through there, another 2 points, but Craig Hall has basically shot up off the line because he knows he's got Fui and Moi running at him, so he shoots up as fast as he can to stop that momentum. Bezic, he realises that, shows a little bit of a dummy, goes through the line, and that gap which was created has eventually got him the try, but he still had to finish it. It was a great finish at the end. Don't know how he grounded that ball, didn't have a clue probably where he was, he just wanted to get it down. He knew he was around that line somewhere.
24 points to 18. Wakefield lead, and there is still an age left to play here. Wakefield somehow have to rediscover the authority they had in the first half, have to halt this wave of Centurion attack that's coming their way.
As a team, this is where it's hard to stop this. The momentum is on their side, that purple patch, but you've got to turn it around. You've got to try and force an error, because it's all going Leigh's way. They're getting everything at the moment. On the flip side of that, Leigh just need to keep going, pushing hard, running hard.
Haggerty. Couple of tackles left in the set here. Might we see another 40-20 attempt from Ridyard? No, he's going to try and run it. Bezic rolls in at acting half. This is Brierley, little chip and chase over the top. He's got the pace to try and get there. He has got there. Throws it out left to Armstrong. Armstrong for the corner. What a sensational try. Whatever level you're watching rugby league, wherever you're watching it in the world, you will simply sit and purr when you see class like that.
Brilliant.
Brierley with a chip and chase. Armstrong with a finish. Leigh are coming back.
Both half-backs deserve a slice of the cake. Ridyard had a crack, really goes to the line, sees an ocean of space around the Wakefield defence, has great speed to get there, and a pass on the fly to Tom Armstrong. Great finish.
Wowzers, what a try that was. He had too much time to look up. He's got loads of space in front of him. No one's putting on any pressure. The kick for me looks it's too long. It looked far too long. I thought it should be shorter, but the bounce just sits up perfectly for him. He has a space and the awareness there to pass the ball wide. He knows somebody will be on the outside supporting. You can see how much it means to him as well. Some of that confidence, that arrogance is getting back into them boys now, and they know they can go on and win this game. Wakefield, they're asking questions of themselves now. This is a bad place for them. They've been in this position before. Can they get out of it?
Tom Armstrong, the scorer. Earl Crabtree with word of the day. Wowzers. Didn't that just sum up the moment? 24-22. And somehow, amongst all the excitement, Martin Ridyard has to find a cool head here, because a kick to draw his side level has been nailed off the touchline. He turned to salute the Leigh supporters behind him, and they in turn salute a team which has battled back from 24-6 down to find themselves all square at 24 apiece.
Well, there's some head scratching going on amongst the Wakefield ranks, and Hill's quite right. They're in a bit of a dark place now. They just hold their nerve.
All the noise is from those who wear the Leigh colours. It's an oh no, here we go again thought from the Wakefield fans at the moment, and similar from their players on the field as Moi drives it forward. There are still 21.5 minutes to play. The tide can turn again, but it's flowing inexorably the way of Wakefield at the moment. Barlow. We heard from Damien Johnson about the half-time team talk that Paul Rowley gave. His side hadn't started playing yet. Well, they're playing now. Moi. Briley. Back to Ridyard. Ridyard with a kick. Hall has to get there. It's an awkward pass. Riley runs into the post. Oh, it's scored by Ryan Briley. He slipped the opportunity and he's scored. Wakefield stood and watched. But we're all going to have to stand and watch and listen. He says try, but he's not sure. So it's a video referee decision again here. But first Benjamin Ian Smith.
Our initial check will be for onside at the kick. So it's Briley in the middle, so let's freeze on the foot. Oof. Now then, it looks like his right foot's in front there to me, Ian. Let's just roll it on, and if we could just one more frame, please. Okay, he's in front, so we've got to now see whether the kicker puts him back onside. Kicker's in front there, is it? No, not now, he's not. We need to check that again, please. Let's try and pick who the kicker is.
You're not giving a decision yet, have you?
We're just going to concentrate on the kicker. So, he's in front. Now he has to get in front of him at some point. Slow. He's always behind him. Therefore, he can't put it back onside. It's no try, penalty for offside, Ben.
This is going to be hard to take. This is going to be hard to take for the Leigh fans.
No try.
It's a massive sigh of relief from Wakefield, but that was a question of inches.
It's a game of inches, Dave. That's a big break for Wakefield, because they're in shock. I don't know how else to describe it. They're in the maelstrom at the moment of a fabulous Leigh assault on them, and they've just got to get themselves back into this game somehow.
Well, is this another turning point? Can Wakefield regather their confidence here?
Movement, Sam! Sam, get out! Ready?
It's Kerman who's back on the field from the sin bin, of course.
So move!
McShane, Scruton, tries score it in the first half. Doesn't that seem an age ago now, when he was giving his side a 16-0 lead as he galloped through. Lower TT, good hands, Riley. Grabbed up by Golden, high. Penalty for Wakefield. This is nervous territory now for both sides, isn't it? Because it is winnable, losable. Malloy, McShane, Scruton. Moy coming flying in to make sure the tackle was complete. McShane back to Smith. Here's Washbrook. 3 tackles left on this Leigh line. Smith has just wasted one of them. 2 to go. McShane galloping through goes John Malloy. Confidence restored. Wakefield's lead restored.
Your man's put his foot in the rough.
It swings back the Super League side's way.
It's another simple try, isn't it? In the end, it's John Malloy who just hits the same lead line running through the line, and you can see that there's no one around the ruck. Where they play the ball is, there's about 4 or 5 people, but outside of that, there's nobody there defending. John Malloy just thinks, right, I'm just going to run into a hole. He picks the ball up, just hits him on a short lead, straight through a gap, and it doesn't get much simpler than that. I think this is where Leigh need to toughen up a little bit on their own line, because Wakey can score points, and they've got themselves out a lot of trouble now. Have they changed that momentum? Has it swung their way now? We'll wait and see. But Leigh, they can grow a little bit from where they are, but they have improved. They need to get even better.
Well, you're quite right about their ruck defence there. I think Moy and Bezic. We'll watch Craig Hall kick this goal. Moy and Bezic deserve a slice of the case there on McNally, because they've got 2 people at mark. They don't need it, they need 1, and they need somebody. Sam Barlow feels the need to come and tighten the space up, and that leaves the space open for Johnny Malloy to literally just fall over the line.
They're standing a little taller now, Wakefield. Their coach is a little happier, but there are still 18 minutes to navigate. 1 try, 1 goal.
Take him low!
That's the lead.
Movement! Come on! Ready? Go!
Smith, Scruton.
It was a fair turnaround, wasn't it? Really scoring at one end and ending up a penalty, and then that's the nervousness of this game. It's
could still go either way. McShane in by Malloy.
Now, 4 movement, Sam. Ready, go.
McShane, Smith wants to get back in control. Kerman.
5 away.
So they've gone through their set here. They'll go for a kick on the 6th through Smith. And it's just watched out of play by Greg McNally, so it'll be attacked back on the 20. Just tell us a little about that fella, Greg McNally, because he was a young superstar, wasn't he, when he was up at Whitehaven and signed by Huddersfield. Didn't quite work for him there, but he's still a very talented player coming through.
Yeah, it didn't work for him, but he had the skill, the ability. You could see that he had that, because he could just pass the ball. He knew exactly what he was doing, but we called him Sticks. Sticks for a reason, because he was absolutely tiny. He's only put on a little bit more size, but he has improved. He is a good player, he's got some great qualities. Unfortunately, at the time it didn't work, but I think it was a good education for him, because he has gone on to get better and better, and is a great lad as well.
If you ask most Leigh fans, they will tell you he is their most talented player. Standoff, of course, at Huddersfield, wasn't he? And has switched to full-back at Leigh. Here's Briley as they go searching out wide. Here's Pownall. It is McNally again at dummy half. Briley. Moy, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Oh, there's going another knock on.
By Leigh.
Yeah, went forward from Moy, hit the Wakefield player, then came forward. Moy's asking why that decision, but it is the right decision, isn't it?
have a look back at it before. It didn't look like he even wanted the ball at that point. I think he's a little bit tired. So one-on-one. I thought it was a one-on-one steal at first, and having a little look back at it, there's definitely hands in there. The way it pops up, possibly play on.
Tim, wait there, Tim.
With his hair braided specially for this game on Friday. He's sponsored by a hairdresser. You wouldn't guess, would you?
Stay there.
Looks like he's had it combed out. It's looking absolutely massive.
Lloyd Ryder scored an early try for Widnes, by the way, in the other game against Batley. Widnes expecting to beat Batley today, the Super League club against the Championship side. And they have got an early lead. Have Widnes here, penalty for Wakefield. Tim Smith putting it out of play.
Discipline, boys, come on.
Tap restart for Wakefield. They're playing it at their pace a little here now, aren't they? Controlling it a bit more.
Move, Bob!
Malloy.
Bob, come on! Go.
McShane. Scruton. Making yards. McShane left. Malloy.
Move! Come on, get up. Sam!
Still plenty of tackles in the bag here. 3 tackles as McShane tries to go from dummy half. One route blocked, another route blocks, and eventually at the third attempt, Leigh do manage to stymie his ambition. Smith run up quickly by Platt. He's lost the ball. Knock on. Well, a good read by Michael Platt in defence.
Well, he needed to make a play for them because he given the late penalty that got Wakefield into the position they were, and he takes a punt here. He's going to put pressure on Tim Smith. Tim Smith sees him coming, tries to get rid of it and drops the ball.
If anything, it's a little bit harsher on Wakefield because they've got a player at the back of the ruck, so the dummy half has to leap over him to get the ball to pass it backwards, and Platt has made the right decision. He realises it's going to take a little bit longer to do that. It just steams up. He's earned the error, and I think it's a great play, but maybe there should have been someone around the ruck in the first place, but that's what you've got to do. Sometimes you have to force errors, and they're doing that now, Leigh. Defending really well, but they need the ball back to actually score some more points because they're still behind. But the one thing that will make this game exciting going into the last 13 minutes is the fact that they won't change the way they play. If anything, they'll pass the ball even more, and that makes this game exciting, and it should be really good to watch.
By all accounts, Alex Rowe has got a try back for Batley, so 6-6 in that game. And don't forget the draw for the quarterfinals straight after this match. 10-15 minutes or so after we finish with the game. You can see the draw on this channel for the quarterfinals. Warrington, St Helens, Hull Kingston Rovers, Hull Leeds already safely there. Which 3 are going to join them?
No, get up, play up.
Catalan Featherstone is the other tie, by the way. That kicks off at about 6 o'clock our time in Perpignan.
Move, Paul!
Bezic behind the 40-metre mark when he lets fly with that. Behind the 40-metre mark, it's another 40-20. It's another huge kick and a huge lift for Leigh. They're on the attack again.
Bob Bezic's a terrific player. He's had a terrific career latterly with Leigh and Widnes, and originally started at Wigan. That's a smart kick and a smart play.
It's fantastic. We're shaking our heads and it's almost in disbelief at how good that was because he made it look so simple. But the fullback's absolutely nowhere to be seen. There's nobody dropped back. It's just a case of he's got as much time in the world as he wants to put that kick in. Great execution yet again, and a good opportunity.
Gareth Holt with the bandaged knee.
Time's up.
Damien's got news on the touchline. Damien?
Yeah, we haven't seen Gareth Holt since the first half. He went off with a twisted right knee. He's itching to get back on. Perhaps they'll unleash him later in the game as they chase a result here.
Jacob!
Platt 10 metres away. Bezic. Leigh need a trying to goal to level things up again. It's taken on.
Move, Paul!
Leigh from the Championship, the underdogs against Castle. So Wakefield, the Super League side, and Hopkins has crashed over for another Leigh try with a kick underneath the sticks, and surely they're going to be level again here.
Anything you can do, we can do better. He hits a terrific line in the inside of the ruck. around the defence, and a little bit like Malloy gets in for a free. That's great play from Bezic. Attracts the defender one-on-one on an inside shoulder, and he's had a big impact on this game, hasn't he, Hopkins?
It's been massive, hasn't it? He's absolutely killed it. He's come on and got them forward from the first carry of the second half. He's just busted straight through, and again it just hits a hole really hard. Great play again by the dummy half, and it's a simple play, but it's off the back of a quick play of the ball. Defensive line hasn't got back and set. Haven't got the numbers right, and people going to the wrong people in front of them as well. It's disappointing. There's soft tries, as we call them in rugby league, but both teams are conceding through them.
All square, 30 points apiece.
The only thing that wasn't soft about it for our viewers is Sam Hopkins was at pace. He was hitting that hole come heaven and high water. Look at him, very determined. Get out of my way. That's a great get out of my way play.
Yeah, it doesn't help that there's no one in front of him as such, but if there was someone in front of him, it would have been hard to tackle him simply because he was running as hard as he could, and he wanted to score that. He wanted that a little bit more from me. He just ran onto it. Great speed, great awareness as well by the dummy half.
Here's the restart. So 10 minutes to separate them now. And remember, golden point is in the offing. If we are all square when the full-time hooter sounds at 80 minutes and the referee stops the game, if it's all square at that stage, then it's golden point extra time. It has to be settled today. So the nervousness goes on. Armstrong. Ridyard, Briley, here's Platt, now it's Pownall! Miller's caught him high, Pownall's caught high again by Lamatiti. Two for the price of one. Penalty for Leigh. Referee's going to give a talking to here. Well done.
Jake, Ali, Jake!
There's the first one from Jacob Miller, and if that didn't hurt him, there's a second one from Ali Lamatiti.
Slap in the cheek.
Bit of dentistry work needed, I think, maybe tomorrow.
Jake! Jacob!
If you had a question mark over the first one, you definitely didn't over the second one. This little slap around the cheeks.
Oh, he's going for goal. He's going for goal.
I'm surprised at that decision because they've looked very, very threatening when they've been attacking the Wakefield line, and with 10 minutes to go, but he's not missed a goal, has he?
Well, he's not, but it's a difficult angle, and you'd think, well, maybe have a go for 4 tackles and then set up for a drop goal if it came to it.
As long as he gets the distance right, he'll still get the ball back if it does go wide, so he has to make sure he hits this one, it doesn't drop short.
All eyes on Martin Ridyard. He's a cool customer. Oh, he's put it wide, but he has got the distance, so it'll be a drop on the 20 metres. So Leigh, all things being equal, should get the ball back here.
Gosh, I'd have been sort of tempted to play on there. I mean, I know he's missed it, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, but...
I'm with you there, simply because it was such a tough angle as much as anything else, and it wasn't right in front of the sticks, but even so that momentum is with them, and every time they get in that position they look like they're going to score, even when they're further away as well. They just seem to be passing the ball and getting numbers on the edges, and now we're starting a long way back. It's almost like a yardage set where you're coming out of your own half.
Yeah, got great distance, didn't he, Craig Hall, on the kick.
Move! Discipline, guys, ready!
Dummy half. Ridyard. Briley helping it on its way. Platt, who released Pownall a while ago, but this time Pownall's gathered in with the first attempt by Chris Riley. 3 tackles to go. Where's this one going? Who's got the heart to see this one out?
Come on. Go.
Here's Bezic. Briley. Ridyard to McNally to Armstrong, and suddenly Kay is cutting loose, flicks it back inside. Bezic's there, so too is the big fella Wilkes. Oliver Wilkes, oh, he's scored a try against his former club. He's broken the hearts maybe of the club where once he was considered a hero, but it is only a maybe at the moment, because we've got to have a look again.
Make sure it didn't go into touch.
Make sure that it didn't go into touch is the question here.
Okay, Ben,
for the video rest, Phil Bentham and Ian Smith.
It's the lead winger with the ball, whether or not his foot goes in touch. Okay, all okay. Still okay, ball's gone. Let's play on to grounding, please. No, he's always got it in.
Listen to the roar, even before absolute confirmation. Listen to the roar once that confirmation is given. 34 points to 30, and of all the players to come up with a match-winning try potentially, Ollie Wilkes, once a hero in this city, is now the toast of Leigh.
What a fantastic try. The winger does so well to stay in play. I don't know how he's managed to do that. The ball back inside. Ollie Wilkes just works out a little bit harder. Gets there, and it looks like he may get caught. And 3 players from the Wakefield team as the kick goes over for another 2 points. It's a fantastic finish by Ollie Wilkes, surplus to requirements, I think, at 1 point at Wakefield. They've gone to Leigh, and now scoring that try. Could that be the difference? It's a massive play by him.
The half-time scoring, Leigh are winning this half by 30 points to 6. Remember, they were down 24-6 at half-time. They're winning in the second half, 30 points to 6. It is the archetypal game of 2 halves, isn't it? Leigh found momentum. Wakefield couldn't really discover their momentum. And is that the game? Or is there time still for Wakefield to strike back? It's Dixon. 2 spells at Wakefield, Ollie Wilkes, over 100 appearances with this club. But it's with Leigh that he's celebrating at the moment.
I think Bezic and Ridyard and Brealey have been outstanding for Leigh in this second half.
Well, there's an offload. Do they have to risk those things? Dixon? Is it just in the DNA? You 2 fellas have got the job of picking the man of the match, by the way. Don't know if anybody told you that, but you do. So that'll come in a couple of minutes' time. But we have all eyes glued on the match. It's another high shot. And immediately, well, Ryan Briley's putting 2 fingers in the air, looking at his coach to say, shall we go for the goal here? But McNally is rolling the hands above his head to say, shall we play on? Either way, it's advantage Leigh. What must be going through the thoughts at the moment of the Wakefield coach, James Webster? His side have been conceding 42 points a game on average this year. Patrick Arfan has scored against Batley, by the way. Widnes leading 10 points to 6 in one of the other games that's taking place today. Bezic. Oh, it's been left behind. And it's a knock-on. It's Wakefield, so maybe there's a chance here. 5 minutes to go. Wakefield's head and feet, but they've got 80 yards to cover.
Michael Platts deliberately get a turn. Stop. Michael Platts deliberately took the ball there.
Well, they've both got a chance to get some oxygen in their lungs here. The referee has stopped the clock.
What's that back down there after? Yeah. All right.
What's going through the minds now? All Crabtree of these Wakefield players. Put us in their mindset at the moment.
I think they'll start panicking soon, simply because there's only 5 minutes left, and they've got to look to somebody to do something. They need to control the ball, but at the same time they need to risk it a little bit as well. So getting forward, need to look at the likes of Tim Smith to now put something on and look at going down the edges. Simply one out carries is not going to cut it now. It's not going to get you back in the game. Need some big plays and big effort by the big players. Is in Tim Smith passing the ball wide.
It ain't done yet, it ain't done yet. Arundel is tackled, knocks on! And a celebration from Leigh, and Michael Platt is making it personal because Leigh get the head and feed. So that's 1 set less for Wakefield to try and score. How long left now? 4.5 minutes. What? 3 sets for Wakefield to score?
Nah, they'll probably get the ball twice with this stoppage. If Leigh control it pretty well, they're probably going to have 2 goals with the ball.
Well, Leigh have already got a bit of a history in the Cup this year. They beat London, a Super League team, last year by 64 points to 12 in the 4th round. They have beaten Salford 22-18, a Super League club this year, in the 5th round. And are they about to take another Super League scalp here in the 6th round and put themselves just a couple of games away from a Challenge Cup final?
2, move Danny! Wait, go.
Ridyard, Briley, McNally looping in from the back again. Here comes Platt. Bezic, Moy, here he goes. He's lost the ball again. I don't think the referee saw that.
All hands at the ground, there the ball.
Wakefield's head and feed. Tackle completed when the ball was lost, he's decided, but Wakefield get the head and feed. So here's a chance, Brian Noble, here's a chance.
Well, they're a long way from where they need to be, but Fui's given them a chance and they've got possession. They're going to have to chance their arm, they're going to have to play a bit expansively, do a few offloads, keep the ball alive and try and create an opportunity somewhere around this Leigh defence.
To remind you, a try and a goal for Wakefield takes us into golden point extra time. And while we wait for this scrum, shall we announce the man of the match?
Whoa, it's not back on yet.
Brian Noble, who's your man of the match today?
Well, there's a few candidates. Andrew Dixon and Bob Bezic have been awesome. With Sam Hopkins, so he hasn't come back from New Zealand yet, so obviously. Sam Hopkins, Sam Hopkins having a massive impact upon this game, but the 2 halfbacks have been outstanding. It was hard to split the 2, Ridyard and Brealey, but with the chip and the chase and getting them back in the game, I think we're giving it to Ryan Brealey.
So Ryan Brealey, there he is, the Ladbrokes man of the match. Well done to him. But there's still a match to be won, or a match to be held on to, because Wakefield still have an instinct here. McShane. Last tackle, and they're inside their own half. Washbrook with a kick and a hope. McNally's running back, doesn't want to linger too long. He's in his own in-goal area, wants to get out of there as quickly as he can. He won't be taking any risks here. Be beyond 78 minutes when Leigh relinquish this ball if they keep hold for the 6 tackles.
Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon's official
Danny, 10 metres!
Ryan Brealey.
There's the announcement on the PA system here. Mixed reaction, as you'd expect from the crowd, to that man of the match award. This is Moy again, crashing in.
Move, boys, 5!
2 minutes to play. It's the Championship club, the underdogs, who are hanging on here for a famous win. Can the Super League side retain their reputation? This could be the last set they have the ball. Miller throws it wide right. Kerman's going to be held up. All Leigh have to do now is make 4 more tackles. That's one of them made easy. McShane dancing to his left. Smith now with a dummy, but he ain't going to get past Michael Platt, who's been huge in this second half. Pair. Kerman looking for a way down the middle. Offload to Scruton. Scruton's made the break. Scruton's still going here. Looks for the offload, gets it away. McShane will take it on. Up it goes to Miller. This is Pair. Bounces to Hall. Hall with a step back on the inside. Miller now stepping right and left. Great hands from Wakefield, they have to keep it alive. Washbrook, Arundel, he's going to have to take the tackle.
5 away, boys.
5 tackles gone, this is it for Wakefield, surely. They have to score off this play. Out it goes to Kerman. Kerman flicks it back to McShane. McShane puts the kick in towards the corner. It's taken back by Leigh Kay. And with 19 seconds to go, that must be the match for Leigh.
Oh, they tried everything, Wakefield. Offloads, passes, kicks, and they're held firmly. Stick it up your jumper, somebody once said.
Leigh fans shouting the countdown. Bezic runs it back behind the own goal line. Whoa! There's barely a breath left in their bodies to celebrate the win. But they will celebrate this win because it is monumental. The Championship side have downed the Super League side. Leigh Centurions are in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, and they've taken 2 Super League scalps along the way. Absolutely sensational. They came from 24-6 down to win 36 points to 30. They'll be staying on those terraces for a long time, saluting their heroes. The Centurions have made a little bit of history. Ryan Briley, the man of the match. We'll be hearing from him in just a while. Remember, the draw's coming up. The quarter-final draw is coming up, and Leigh are in it alongside Warrington, St Helens, Hull, Hull and Leeds. Their names in amongst the big boys. Leigh the winners on a memorable day by 36 points to 30.
Wonderful, wonderful scenes out there for Leigh. What a second half from them. We're hastily trying to get them out of the celebrations for some interviews, but they're talking about being a Super League outfit. Wow, they have proved that they can live with a Super League team there and go on and beat them. Let's go down live to the pitch now, and the man of the match is with Damien Johnson.
Ryan Briley is the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup man of the match. What a fight back, Ryan. How did you do it?
Yeah, certainly. I said to you at half-time was pretty poor, so we're just about completing our sets and just spending a bit of time in Wakefield's half. We never spent any time in the first half, so we know we can score points, so and that showed evident in the second half.
Our information was the coach said don't change your style in the second half. Was that really the message in the dressing room?
Yeah, definitely. It's in our DNA to throw the ball about. We like to play entertaining rugby, and that's Paul's philosophy, so we need to stick by that, and so hopefully it gets us through games like it certainly did then.
Tell me about the chip and chase that set up Tom Armstrong for his try that got you back in it.
Oh, I don't know, a bit of rush of blood, I think. But no, I just saw the defence backed off a little bit and just thought I'd back myself. And fair play to Tommy, he didn't give up on me and managed to score in the corner, which I think was a massive turning point in the game. 25 now unbeaten. Is this the best of them? Yeah, certainly. To come to Wakefield and beat them on their own patch is certainly a special occasion. So we've got a lot of our work to do. We weren't great, so we'll get back to the training field and kick on for next week.
What about the draw in a minute?
Oh, it'll be interesting, but like I say, anyone at home would be nice, but like I say, we've got to stick to our philosophies and we've got to remain confident.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Well done.
Can I say hi to my little cousin in Jersey? It's his 13th birthday. Happy birthday.
You've just done that. Paul Rowley is just waiting to come in, the Leigh coach. Congratulations, Paul. You stuck to your guns and it paid off.
Absolutely, we couldn't have done anything poorer in that first half, and so we was very, very confident at half time that if we got a fair share of possession, then we'll cause trouble, and we did that. I think we got 22 sets completed, about 19, and the rest is history.
24-6 down at half time. Part of you must have thought we're out of this.
Not one part of me thought, and more importantly, none of our players thought that as well, because like I say, 18 points in 40 minutes is not a lot of ground to cover from our point of view. We can all run tough, running at opposition lines. We didn't defend. We give them too much. Everything was a gift, and that second half, I couldn't be proud of the lads. Couldn't be proud of the town and the fans and everything. I think they've done fantastic today. A great second half. Poor first half, but a great second half.
What was the key message at half time from you?
The completion 37% is the worst we've done in 4 years of being in charge. So no matter who you're playing, they're smart lads these, and so it's not an important message. It's not a message that they don't know already. 37% ain't good enough. If we get it up to at least 70-80%, then we were confident we'd win, and so it turned out.
30 points to 6 if you take just the second half scores. That tells a story.
Absolutely, and like I say, you know, again, if we'd have had the possession Wakefield did in that first half, we'd have scored some serious points. So we're confident and we expect it. And once we put structure and shape together and played like we can, then we didn't have a problem. But you know, it's a good second half. We played very well.
Well done, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bob Bezek's joined us now. Bob, if you'd like to step in. Well done. Has that even topped the victory over Salford in the last round?
Yeah, I suppose it has. You know, it's not our main focus this year, but we're happy to take the win, and fortunately we managed to put some sets together at the end.
You've been around in the game a long time. It was amazing.
People keep saying that. I'm only 24.
It seems like you've been around a long time. You've seen a lot in the game, though.
Just killed me, though.
You've seen a lot in the game, and that was some fight back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We've got a strong belief, and we know if we probably let the occasion get to us in the first half, and we didn't play like we normally did, but I thought we stuck to the structure in the second half, completed, and it's like the boring old thing, you complete your sets, you get in the ground, and then you end up on top. But Wakefield dug in. We knew they wouldn't go away because they're a tough Super League side, so it's something we're aspiring to be, and hopefully we've took another step towards that, but we've plenty of hard work to do.
Can you believe it? 25 games now.
Yeah, I can. We work hard in the week, and we work hard in the game. We're going to get beat one day, we know that, but hopefully we keep cutting it back a few more weeks.
Supporters were terrific for you as well, weren't they?
Oh, they're like the 18th man out there. They're on fire, and they certainly, I thought they outsung the Wakefield supporters today, so it's a credit to Leigh and the town in general. I think it's building up well.
Well done, Bob.
Thank you.
Martin Ridyard is going to step in. Martin, you ran your teammate Ryan very close for man of the match.
Yeah, I thought Ryan had a very good game today. We both took a bit of flack over the last few weeks, a couple of close performances, but I thought he stood up well today, and he showed with that little bit of magic when he chipped over and set up for Tom Armstrong in the second half.
You've got something special going at Leigh, clearly. What is it?
I think we're just a very close knit. We're not too confident, but we know like if we can play to our ability, we're within ourselves to win the games, whoever it be. And like I say, it was a tough game today. I think a lot of people before the game was saying, I don't think they give Wakefield enough credit. They were saying we were favourites, but they're still a Super League team, and they're a very good side, and they've got a few bodies back today and showed it.
You're only human. At 24-6 down, you must have thought that's it, we're out of the cup.
Yeah, well, we said at half-time with Paul, we was only completing at like 37%, and it's like pathetic really for us, and we need to be up there in 70s and 80s, and obviously we said if we can do that, we can get them on the back foot and get some plays together, and we can get a result.
We've got the draw coming up very shortly. What are your thoughts on that? A home tie is the key, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a home tie, local derby, which would be very nice. I don't mind an away trip with our fans. I think they've been brilliant today. They're like the 18th man, so we'll just wait and see.
Well done, Martin. Congratulations.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Well, sum that one up, Jamie.
Well, I think you've got to give Leigh a hell of a lot of credit. I think with winning 24 games in a row comes a lot of belief in yourself and your ability and your structures, and I think they married completions with shape and structure in the second half and blew Wakefield off the park. They were outstanding for that last 40 minutes and thoroughly deserved to go through. I think the big players stepped up, the people who were pivotal, Bezek, Braley, stepped up and delivered massive performances and shifted the momentum in favour of Leigh, and Wakefield couldn't handle them, and Wakefield coming out of this, we know they're habitually bad defenders, and those traits shine through in the second half.
Under scrutiny, and Leigh really scrutinised the Wakefield defence in the second half, and it came up short in a number of areas, didn't it? Leigh, I think, put fantastic attacking play together, but ultimately Wakefield, whether coming out of their defensive structure to make mistakes or even just missing tackles, came up with too many poor defensive decisions in the second half, and ultimately Leigh are a team who can score points, and that's what they did.
Well, the players in the dressing room waiting for the quarter-final draw. We're going to keep them waiting just a little while longer. Let's have a look at the winning try first. I don't know how Liam Kay stayed in the pitch, let alone managed to get the pass away.
No, so Oliver Wilkes, vastly experienced player to score the try, to win the game. That was a huge point for the Leigh club, and to put Leigh 36-30 ahead and just enough space to win the game.
I think it's fitting that Oliver Wilkes scores that try. I think he's played at Wakefield, and then to go on and captain at Leigh, I think that'll mean a hell of a lot to him.